Welcome to Sports Chat. I am your host, Matt Muncy.
And I'm Brock Stafford.
And this is going to be a YouTube podcast of just two guys, sometimes three, sitting around talking about sports. What we got on the docket today, we have Super Bowl, which comes up next Sunday, February 6th. And then we're also going to be talking the NBA All-Star Game, which is on February 20th. So what I want to do is introduce ourselves. Okay. I think every podcast you got to start with introducing yourself so new listeners kind of know who you are. So first off, we'll start with you. I guess I'll ask, what's your favorite sports? What's your favorite teams? We have to get the biases out of the way so people can't call us out on it.
Sure. Well, I guess if we're talking about favorite sports, I pretty diehard in NBA. Basically, start reading it as soon as I get online, and that's my first stop of the day. So, I follow NFL, especially right now with the playoffs. I don't want to say I'm a bandwagon fan, but I do follow during regular season. But it's really exciting right now because my former state, Wisconsin, is going to Super Bowl right now, and since the Colts didn't quite make it this year, I do enjoy the Packers. Favorite teams, probably going to throw out the Pacers. I enjoy the Pacers for all their shortcomings. Big Mavs fan, enjoy the Mavs. And I guess if we're talking NFL, obviously it's going to be Colts number one. Packers now that there's not a number 4 on the team, number 12 is quite a bit better. And I've been enjoying watching them too. So
let's throw out this question. Who's your favorite player from any sport?
I'm going to have to go Reggie Miller.
Okay. I mean, it's respectable.
And, many people will get into debate. I still like the Pacers over the Bulls. We're talking about mid-90s. We're talking about Bulls run. I'm still a Pacers fan all the way through that. I did not like Jordan. I like Pippen, but not Jordan. So.
All right. So I guess I can throw my stuff out there. I'm a huge basketball fan. That's just my number one sport. Football, definitely in there. Baseball. And then, college basketball, college football. And then I'm also a NASCAR fan. And then when it comes to favorite teams, I'm with you since, from Indy. Got to like the Pacers, got to like the Colts. Baseball, I'm a Cubs fan. It goes with the rest of my teams since they somehow all suck. And then I'm also a big Purdue fan. Probably out of every team I like, Purdue is my number one. Basketball and football, I will root diehard for them even when they are just god awful. So that gets the biases out of the way because I'm sure we will defend certain people or certain teams that people will be like, that's not right.
And as it goes on, I'm also throw out there, college basketball. I really have to say my team isn't going to make it for a while, but I really love the Arizona Wildcats. For some unknown reason, I really enjoy the Wildcat basketball. And if we're going baseball, I gotta throw it out there. I like the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean you're a Milwaukee dude. Arizona's good. They took a very big drop off when Luke Olson had to leave.
Yeah.
And so that kind of crumbled that team. But my favorite player, funny enough, is also Reggie Miller. Grew up watching him. I mean, come on, dude. Being in Indy, growing up in the 90s, how can that not be your favorite player? I mean, because it was either him or you like Jordan. I mean, that was it.
As far as basketball, yeah, that's about where it went.
I mean, and then but I mean, if you think about Colts didn't have anyone. You gonna be a Jim Harbaugh fan? And I mean, obviously, people can say they're a Peyton Manning fan, and that's legit. But me being a basketball junkie, I, easily Reggie Miller, my top number one all time. And all right, so let's get into the meat of this show. And the first thing we're going to talk about, because we're holding out hope that Daryl can make it. If Daryl can't make it, we'll just have to push on without him, and hopefully he can get on the next one. But we're going to start with the NBA All-Star Game. It's the All-Star Game itself takes place on February 20th. The rookie, the celeb game and the rookie sophomore game are on the 18th, and then the skills night is the 19th, that Saturday. All right, so we'll go night one. We got celeb game, don't care. Rookie sophomore game, we already know who's going to win this game. And I'm actually thinking about watching the rookie sophomore game because I just want to see John Wall throw an inbounds pass from the other side of the court as an alley oop to Blake Griffin. I mean, that's all I'm hoping for.
And that's exactly what's going to look like.
Yeah,
My question is beyond Wall and Griffin. This class actually is pretty deep for some of the late guys. You look at Landry Fields making a name for himself,
yeah, DeMarcus Cousins.
Gary Forbes.
I can't really name a lot of the sophomores, but I mean they're just gonna get blown out the water. And I mean it's not fair to the sophomores either because technically they should have Blake Griffin. Uh, but with an injury he gets thrown onto the rookie class. So then we go to skills night. First up, dunk contest. This is the one that's supposed to be it's supposed to be the top thing. It's always the last event of the night, and it's there for a reason. But for the past couple years, it has sucked. Actually, for the past 10 years, it has sucked.
Really, you have to go back to BC and
Yeah,
some of those contests till about 2003. You still have some good quality, but it's slowly going downhill. The Jay Rich contests were okay, and then there was the shining moment of hope when they had Josh Smith competing, and you had Iguodala in there, and you had some guys who can really flat out dunk. Then it just went downhill, and then we went to the Nate Robinson era, and I could spend a whole another 10 minutes just on the Nate Robinson era of dunk contests.
exactly. And the thing is, the dunk contest when it first came, it was something in 1984, and it was a carryover from the ABA. The ABA was the league that started the dunk contest with George Gervin and Dr. J, and that's where this whole thing started. So in 1984, they bring it back at Denver, which is funny enough is where the original ABA one started was in Denver. And think you got Larry Nance, Wilkins, Spud Webb, Jordan, Kenny Walker, Wilkins again, D Brown, which I know he did something special in '91. I
D
can't
Brown
remember exactly.
had that cover the eyes.
No, was that D Brown? I thought
That
that
was
was
D Brown.
Cedric Sabalas. Okay. Then I don't know what Cedric Sabalas did. Harold Miner, I don't know what he's done. Isaiah Ryder, that dude could dunk. That dude was like the Blake Griffin of his time. But then we get some obscure ones. Brent Berry. How does Brent Berry win a dunk contest? Are you
Dude
kidding
has
me?
ups. Dude has
He's
ups.
I know, but I'm just saying that's one of those outliers on this list.
He's
90
also competed in the 3-point contest. So I mean, should
uh,
we call him Mr. All Star Weekend if he's competed in
apparently
all?
because it's ridiculous. 97 Kobe Bryant, which is funny that I don't I mean I don't think Kobe's even participated in a dunk contest since then, which is a travesty. 2000, the probably the best dunk contest since Jordan Wilkins with Vince Carter and all those amazing dunks he did, easily winning that. Desmond Mason winning in '01, crap. Then we get Jason Richardson, and he wins it in '02, and this was '02 was when they started, or no, '01 was when they started the young guys version of the dunk contest, where all they did was pick, first and second year players. So
Which
Jason,
was not a bad idea because I mean I
no
really think bringing along some of the young guys, but I think those are the years that they're starting to fall off as far as having
talent,
participation from the veterans.
yeah, that too. But '03, Richardson puts up one of the best dunks we've seen. I would say since with the between the legs, but he goes, it's a reverse between the legs, backwards dunk. Um, that to me, that was just been one of the. I mean, that rivals Carter with some of the dunks he put up.
Oh, you're treading on thin ice there, man.
I said it rivals. I didn't say it takes out. It doesn't take over any of Carter's dunks, but you put it up there with Carter's dunks, because that dunk looked hard, and we've never seen anyone do it. We've seen between the legs, but not reverse between the legs and dunking it backwards. 2004, the only Indiana Pacer to ever win the event, Fred Jones. So we'll just keep
Which
skipping on
Fred
by
Jones hasn't done anything since.
anything since, and he didn't do anything
Or-
then either.
It's
Uh,
true.
Josh Smith won it in '05, which I could see that. That dude could dunk.
personally, I think Josh Smith should have been on so many more of the contests than he was,
Yeah,
and I
I
think
mean
Travis
the guy was pure, was just he could jump. So
he still can. I mean, he's still the.
he
I
was
still think
in
he's
'05
one
and
of the best
'06.
dunkers. It was a legit year, and I think that Iguodala was in that year as well. I'm pretty
Amari
sure.
Stoudemire.
And Amari had, I mean, that was the year that he had the Steve Nash soccer
Oh
rainbow.
yeah. See, okay, we'll get to that in a minute, but that's a good thing to bring up. Then we get '06, we get Nate Robinson. Blah.
Ugh.
'07, we get Gerald Green. And I remember this one specifically because I've written 2 articles I think now on how bad the dunk contest is, and I always put his dunk in that article. And Gerald Green dunked while blowing out a candle that he placed on the back rim. Horrible. Like this was when the prop crap just took off, and I've hated it ever since.
Now,
Dwight
now
Dwight.
I
Oh,
will say something about that dunk in defense of Gerald Green. For that
okay.
dunk to work, he had to be eye level with the backboard, with the rim. He had to be able. I mean, he physically. If you look at how high he was on that dunk, I mean, he was dunking higher and better than most people that night. Um, so flat out talent, I think Gerald Green really showed how athletic and how much hops he has. But I don't know if you can really consider that, you know, true dunk talent. I mean, it was more of a
But
stick.
but was that not the year that Dwight Howard? What year was this? '07. Yes, Dwight Howard was in that year. Wasn't that the year he put the Superman sticker or the Dwight Howard sticker like on the very top of the backboard? Give
And
me
nobody
that.
said anything.
Like,
Nobody
give
said anything. And that was if you're talking about with prop dunks, if you're talking about that, Dwight Howard should have gotten a much better score for that because
exactly.
he sticker slapped the top of the backboard.
That's what I'm saying. If
Ah,
you defend Green because he had hops, but I mean Howard out hopped him by a freaking backboard.
but I mean,
And
you also got to think Gerald Green is what 6'5", 6'6", maybe. He was. I mean, he was. You know, there's very few people who can get that high above the rim, where you can literally be chin over the rim to be able to blow out that candle straight out. I mean, that's just physically. You have to be up off the ground, being a 6'6" guy. Dwight Howard, don't get me wrong, Dwight Howard's got monster hops. And I mean, sticker slapping on the top of the backboard, forget the fact that the guy is 7 foot. He was able to smack that on the backboard, at what? Was it 11, 12 feet?
yeah.
Something like that. Just sick.
And then in '08, Dwight Howard wins it with the Superman cape.
Uh,
Ridiculous. And then the next 2 years, we have Nate Robinson winning it. Nate Robinson, as I can tell, is the only 3-time winner ever, which should just show you how much of a travesty the dunk contest has become. So there's a look at the history of the dunk contest somewhat. Now let's look into see who's dunking this year. Now we got first off Blake Griffin. This guy's
but
a he's a highlight reel.
just mail him the championship right
Yeah,
now.
there's no. I mean, he's gonna have to. Which this would make a lot more sense until I saw the video today. I was gonna say he would have to miss every single dunk, but with the video I saw earlier of him missing a dunk and the force that he tried to throw it down with, and I was still amazed, and that thing still would have made a top 10 on Sports Center. This guy could probably miss every dunk and still get straight 50s. So
It's
I'm
true. I mean,
baffled. I am just baffled with the way with his athleticism and the hops and the forcefulness that he
the
dunks
size
with.
and power. I think it's very rare, and it's been a long time. I mean, probably since Amari was dunking, to find a guy of that height, that stature, but with such power and such speed and athleticism to be able to do what Blake Griffin does. Watching him on an everyday night, or, every night occurrence, he's a human highlight reel. I mean, I know that phrase has been used, a few times, but
But he is.
I mean, he knows how to put that ball in the basket and pretty much I don't think there's anybody on the floor to stop him. Now,
No.
transferring